Hello guys, what's up? Prodigy here. Welcome to my brand new channel, aka Prodigy. This video took a lot of effort to make, considering it is my first video after a long time. So, please make sure to support this channel by clicking on that subscribe button, liking this video, as well as turning on the notification bell so that you guys get to know when I upload new content on this channel. I'm gonna start a new series for the Java programming language. In this series, we are going to talk about basic topics based on Java, as well as we are going to see some examples, some coding for Java. For today's video, it's basically the introduction to Java. So let's get started. So, yeah. So let's talk about what is Java. Java is basically a high level class based object oriented language that is designed to have as few implementation dependencies as possible. It is a general purpose programming language intended to let many programmers to write once and run it anywhere. That is WORA. WORA. So let's talk about Java as a categories. So when we talk about categories, we divide the Java into two categories. That is Java as a platform as well as Java as a programming language. First, let's talk about what is Java as a programming language. When we talk about it, we basically said that Java is a simple, object oriented, robust, and secure, as well as architecturally neutral and portable programming language. That is, Java is a platform independent. It is a highly interpreted, threaded, and dynamic, high performing programming language. Now, let's talk about Java as a platform. For that, we need to understand two components, that is Java Virtual Machine and Java Application Interface, that is Java APIs. So when we say Java Virtual Machine, this is basically used to interpret whatever the byte code we get from the Java compiler and convert it into machine code so that the system that on that we are running the the Java application can understand the whole logic. Then we have Java APIs. These Java APIs are bundled with JVM, and we get a as a Java development kit, that is JDK. So this Java API are used by different programmers to write simple as well as complex Java application to run or to do some basic task. Okay, let's see the structure of how the OS, that is our operating system, interact with JVM and our Java application. On top, we can see that we have our Java application. This Java application is basically whatever the programmer writes using the help of Java APIs. Now, when the programmer try to run this program, this uh, .java program will go to the compiler, and that Java compiler will convert it into bytecode. Now, this bytecode is interpreted by the Java virtual machine, and it is translated into machine code, which is get run by the actual program. So we can say that also uh, we say that Java is a platform independent programming language. Why is that? Because the bytecode that is generated by the compiler is also platform independent. That is, when we suppose we have two machines, M1 and M2. In M1, we write a Java program and we have a java.class file with us. That java.class file is nothing but the bytecode. Now we can take this java.class file from M1, that is machine 1, to M2, and we can run the same dot class file in the M2 machine. We need to make sure that if we are that the JVM on both the computers should be same. That is, if we have had written the Java program in M1 from say Java 8, that is JDK 8 version, then in machine 2 it should also have the same version, that is Java 8, installed in it to run the program successfully. Okay, so let's talk about the execution chart. What happened? Whatever I had told earlier, uh, it's displayed in this chart. That is, we have the Java application, then we have Java compiler that takes the application to compile it. It converts it into bytecode. Then this bytecode is interpreted by the JVM and it is converted into machine code that is read by the hardware and or operating system to do a particular task. Okay, so let's write a simple Java application, our first Java application printing the hello world. Okay, let's open our uh, editor, that is I'm using IntelliJ IDE. You can also you can uh, you can write in your own editor like Visual Studio, Eclipse, STS, anything. Okay. So to create a new project, you just click on new project. From here you go to next, and here you type your project name. Suppose I'm writing first. Okay, I is capital. Okay, first Java project. Okay, and finish. Okay, so it's scanning for files. Okay, now it's generated. Make sure to do it into from here you select the project files to get the whole structure of our project. Let's create the Java class. So for that we have to right click on Java, the SRC, new, and then Java class. Here you write your uh, Java class name, say suppose hello world. Okay, enter. So it will generate the hello world.java class. One thing to remember that within a Java application, only one class can be defined public. Others will not have any other modifier. That is, if I want to write any other class, I will not write class 2 here. That is public class 2. Instead of that, I will write class 2. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about mm, the main method. That is our so what is main method? Main method is basically the entry point for the compiler to check on the application where the actual logic is written. Okay, and when we talk about modifier for the main method, it is public and static. Public denotes that we are saying the compiler that it is visible and you can use it. Then static means that we are telling the compiler to go directly for this method. Then we are not returning anything, that is void. Then we have string args. This is basically used for command line arguments. Uh, these are helpful we do the when we run this program using the command line and we need to give some arguments to it. Okay, So let's get back to our application, that is Hello World. So our problem was to printing a simple Hello World message. So in IntelliJ we write SOUT and then we click on Control plus uh, space bar to get the suggestion. So here you can see it says that prints a string to system dot out. So when I click on this, it will automatically give me the statement that is used to print in Java. So we have Java. This is basically a class that is defined in a package which is called java.lang. Then we have out. It is basically another class that is inherited from the system part. Then we have println. It is basically a function. Uh, as you can see the description here that it terminates the current line by writing uh, the separated line, and the line separator is defined by the system property line dot separator. Okay, so here inside I want to print hello world. So hello world is basically a string. So we write this in inverted commas. So hello world. Now, if I want to write another message, I can just do this. That is adding plus. Plus is basically we are concatenating hello world, one string hello world with the prodigy string. Okay. This is one way of printing it. Another way is by creating a local variable, or we here we say in local member. Let's say hello. Okay, and here we say hello world prodigy. Okay, now we can also print this by just saying writing here hello. So let's run this program. Let's give some distinction so that we can understand what print is for what by let's say local member. Okay, or variable. Let's run the program. To run the program, we have different ways. First is go here, click on run, and just do the run button. Select hello world, and below you will see that it is building the project and you will get the output. So here you can see this print is for the normal print, that is hello world plus prodigy. Then second one is for from the local variable, that is hello world prodigy by local variable. Okay. Yeah. So that's all for the code part. Let's talk about object-oriented programming. Let's close this window. Okay. So let's talk about what is Java as OOP and its advantages. So I have already said that Java is an object-oriented programming language, and it is basically representing a way of creating code which mimics the real world entities, or we can say world. We create objects. So, for instance, we can say that person is a object and its property can have its name, its ID, its address, and all. So, for that, we create an object and we bundle these data. When I say data, it is basically name, ID, and address that for a person that I'm talking about, and its related procedures. And when I say procedures, we can say let's say changing the name, changing the ID, changing the address. These are all the procedures. This process of writing the code is basically called abstraction. uh, the way of writing the code to the real world. Okay, so let's talk about some advantages. OOP is more extensible, allowing you to add things to your application faster and easier than with structural code. So when we talk about structural code, we create different functions and all, but there is no modularity and all. So OOP gives us that modularity, that simplicity, where we can write our code very easily and implementation will be faster. And the benefit of using OOP is basically it can we can easily maintain that files or whatever long project we are working on. It also provide better organization for code and reuse and library functionalities. Okay, so that's all for today's video. We'll talk more about the objects and primitives and operators on our next video. Until then, take care and see you guys. Thank you.